So please, can you, sir, please elaborate on how do you work with the school children? Because we did not understand it fully.
Okay, okay. Uh, I'm doing this from last 10 years. I think I actually, Aditya, I started working in, see, the conventional agricultural system. You know, Assam is very famous for tea. Assam tea
Yes,
is very
yes.
famous. So when something is commercially very famous, so the business model used to come for that agricultural crop. So conventional farming started, setting up a big tea garden started, and this setting up of big tea gardens led into a very dangerous way of growing crop that is called monocropping, right? One crop in a big way, which when we are doing monocropping, it's very difficult to grow crop without the use of external inputs. External inputs, which I'm trying to put, is all the chemicals which is used to grow food, all the herbicides which are used to kill the grasses, all the fungicides which are used to kill the funguses which come. And when it is a monocrop, so the insects, disease, and everything, they used to come in a lot because they're getting so much of one crop to eat. So this started in Assam with tea, and lots of chemicals started to pump into my villages, which I was filling from inside. And with the big gardens, also Assamese farmers, they started growing small tea gardens. Right.
Yes, sir.
This is happening in Maharashtra with cotton. Right. This is happening in Punjab with wheat. So when one crop becomes very big, it's called monocropping, and it attracts so much of chemicals, hybrids, genetically modifieds, everything into the whole picture of growing food when it becomes business, right? But I believe as a farmer, my religion is to grow food, not commerce in my field. Commerce will come, it will come, like, and we have to understand what is our needs and grades. That is why I think, Aditya, God has made farmer in the villages with they have aspirations and dreams, but the dreams are not like becoming a very millionaire, right? Farmers don't have the dream of becoming millionaire. They do their activities, but they dream about how they live a beautiful life with whatever they get, right? So that was balanced. But with the introduction of those kind of all technologies, where the corporate world can sell everything to the small farmers to grow the food, what happened is somewhere this became polluted, and my own homeland Assam was being polluted with all this monocropping of tea. So I was trying to work with the farmers to promote how we don't use the chemicals in tea farming. But to my surprise, farmers used to understand. But at one time of the life, when you are like you have attained a certain age, you don't want to take the risk. You don't want to take the risk, and they will understand, but they will not change the habit of doing that, because
Yes.
that has been induced through the trainings in the research organization, training in the universities, people telling that, okay, you cannot grow without fertilizers, you cannot grow without pesticides, you cannot grow without fungicides. So those kind of trainings were given to them, where they found that, okay, it is very difficult for us to grow without them.
Yes.
Dependency syndrome on external input was built, and it was very difficult for me to break this. So one day I was working in a village, and suddenly I got very irritated. Yeah, I'm talking to you for so many days, we don't have to use this, but somehow you use it, which is bad for you. So much of cancer cases is going high in the villages, but still we do that. Our water is being whole polluted with the chemicals. Still we do that. Why you do that? So I came out of the villages, and suddenly when I sat on my bike, I used to take a bike and move around in the villages to give them like how we train farmers on compassionate
Yes.
farming system. So I was on the bike and I thought, and I was driving through the village, and I found this a school in the village. I saw a school in the village, and I saw the kids learning there, and they were from that village only, right? So what I did is I stopped my bike, and I was feeling angry with the parents. So I told them, I was just inside, I was talking to myself, okay, you don't want to listen to me. I'm going to teach your kids in the school. So I went to the school and I talked to the principal that, sir, I just want to teach all the organic and natural farming skills to your kids as an activity based learning model. Because then that was the start of the school. This is a school called Chitralekha Shiksha Vikas Mandir, where I first started and stepped in to work with the children. So what I did is I started to teach them how to make compost, how to use the local earthworms which we find in banana pseudo stems to make vermicompost, how to take care of soil, how to make zero tillage beds to grow food, how to make a beautiful homestead food forest where in the home garden we grow our own food, how we conserve our local seeds. Then when I was doing this with this school, I could find that I'm not coming out of the course of the students like the school syllabus also, because I was interacting with the students of class 6, 7, 8, and I found in class 6 only kids learn about the plant, kids learn about the soil, kids learn about what is organic farming and what is chemical farming. Kids learn about what the plants eat, plant nutrients. Kids learn about agriculture. Class 8 science book, first chapter, both in all the medium of the country. It is like agricultural production, how you
Yes.
produce food. So I found that it is not going out of the course. So what I did is I made it into an activity-based learning model for the kids, where now I go to the schools, I work with the school children, and train them to make a homestead food forest. And when they do it, for example, Aditya, if I'm making you learn about like how to make a zero tillage bed, and if I'm asking you, let's make a bed of 3 feet wide and 10 feet long, indirectly I am also teaching you 3 into 10 is 30 square feet, how to calculate area. So
Yes.
if I'm putting like 6 inches layer of compost in that bed, I'm also teaching you how to calculate volume, length into breadth into height is volume. I'm also teaching you many life skills like patience, love, compassion. And just imagine, I have seen kids with me. I have worked with more than 5,000 school children in the whole region with this whole work. And I have seen every kid has got their beautiful ideas and they're so happy to do that, grow their own food. And just imagine, Aditya, you are planting a tomato seed, and you are waiting for the plant to grow. You are attached to the plant, you love the plant, you are compassionate, you go every time to go there, you give water, you take care, and one fine morning you see a beautiful flower coming out, and another fine morning you see that flower becoming a fruit, and the day comes when you pluck the fruit and then you cut it and you eat it. You feel so delighted, this is my grown own food, right? So
Yes.
that is nutrition. That is nutrition. Nutrition is nothing mother and father pushing you to, okay, eat this, eat this. Other kind of synthetic food, or the food which has been made by the brains of the people, not God. I always believe in food which is made by God. Everywhere you are born, God has given you a food. So what I do is I try to attach all the school children, both in rural and urban spaces also now, to make them learn about how to grow food, right? And this develops so much of life skills in them, like the problem solving attitude, how
Yes.
how you how you how you deal with problems, right? So I have got so many stories of kids giving me ideas. Now I have more than 50 techniques of my compassionate farming. But Aditya, I can tell you, around 15, 16 of them are given by my kids in the schools. They, when we were doing it, they used to tell me, "Sir, why can't we do like this?" Could I give you an example?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this happened in a school which is of tea garden community in Assam. So I was working with them, and the school garden was somewhat, the land for the school garden was somewhat far from the school building. So we have to cross a football field, and then we get this land to grow the food, right? So we started growing our food, and suddenly watering became very difficult for us, because it was the initial stage of the when we create the food forest. Also, we need some water to be given there. So it was becoming a big ask for us. I cannot ask my children to collect water from the school and carry it crossing the whole football field and give it there, right? It was becoming very hard for them. It is not possible. So we were exploring ideas how to do it. So one morning, when I used to stay in the school and work with the kids, or stay in the village and work with the kids when I developed these farms. So when I went to the school in the morning, what I could see, Aditya, was one guy of class 7. He brought a mineral water bottle, used the mineral water bottle, and he made a hole on the bottom of the with a needle. He made a hole on the bottom of the mineral water bottle, and he filled the bottle with water, and he tied the bottle in a bamboo stick, and he put it near his plant. He was growing a local eggplant, so he put that stick and the bottle with the bottle on the stick on that. And when I came there, he was showing me, Aditya, that, sir, this is how I will bring every day. I'll bring some water for my plant, and I'll put it in this bottle, and this hole, drop by drop, the water will go to my plant. So it is not losing the whole water. And he was also showing me, sir, if I want to close it, if I just cork it tight, if I close the bottle lid tight, so the water will stop. So the science come. I told you, agriculture is both art and science, and this is the problem solving attitude. So this guy also
Yes.
gave us how. This guy also gave us the way how to reuse the mineral water bottle, and this is what is drip irrigation system, which the companies sell so much of products for the farmers in very high cost, right? So this is which is what we are teaching the school children by giving them an activity based learning model, and they make their homestead food like school food forest, and they whatever they grow in the rural school where kids are given food. So in the villages, so they whatever greens they grow, they eat that in their midday meal. And in the urban schools, they grow it, they make a garden club, and they harvest the things, and they take it to the hostel if the hostel is there, or otherwise they divide among teachers and students to take it home. The basic thing is sowing the seeds of farming as a very good profession, where you create life on the mindset of the young people, how we attract them. We don't have to de-glamorize a profession called farming. We will have to glamorize a profession of called farming, where
Yes.
young people like you, your hands are green, your fingers are green, and how you grow your own food, Aditya. That is how I work with the school children.
Yes, sir. That is a very interesting and amazing initiative, sir. Childrens will also understand from early age, like we should always coexist with nature, and nature is not an asset. It's not only thing to use. It is we have to give to nature. We have to take from nature. If you give, then you can take. है ना? So I believe
Yeah.
that. Thank you, sir, for sharing your interesting idea and perspective. And now, sir, please tell us, why is farming not a lucrative job despite food industry being very large?
Uh-huh. Okay. Aditya, there are lots of regions to this whole aspect of why people. I don't say that farming is not lucrative. I'm proud to call myself as a farmer, but why farm people don't look at that as a profession is because I think there are lots of reasons, because it is too much of you need lots of risk, right? Every farmer has to be very strong. Farmers are very strong people because they have the ability to take risk, right? In all the management studies and all, we learn about risk bearing capacity, but farmers, without studying anything, they are taking the utmost risk in life, right, because they have to grow things with nature, and they have to go through all the adverse and the good ways of nature, right? And the adverse ways like floods, droughts, those kind of like some kind of soil erosions. So these are all forest fires in our regions. So this kind of all the calamities are also there related to the farming operations. So that is also one risk, and so they find that farming is not lucrative. The most important reason which I feel is not valuing the local food wisdom. Yeah. So whatever I in my previous answer also I was talking to you about how the corporatization of food is happening, how the whole food system food see nobody sleeps without food, but no farmer's child wants to be a farmer. That is the ask, right? So what happens
Yes.
is you are made the all the farmers are made into such a dependency syndrome on some kind of external inputs in farming, right? For example, the tractor, for example, the irrigation system, for example, the hybrid seeds, for example, the genetically modified seeds, for example, the chemical fertilizers, for example, the pesticides, chemical
Yes.
pesticides, the all kind of inputs that come into farming, and they are so costly. The farmers are lured to them, right? And I want to tell you, as this is all my farmer's perspective. Okay, Aditya, this is a farmer's perspective. What I believe is, see, the you told the food is the biggest industry, and until and unless there are so many small marginal farmers of the world, the food industry cannot come directly to the grip of the big corporates which wants to own them,
Yes.
right? So the best way, they cannot, if they cannot even think about eliminating a big race of farmers, but what they can do is they can slowly make farming so costly and dependent on them. That is, we cannot eliminate the farmers, but we can make them dependent on us by changing the inputs, changing the local food wisdom. If we change the local food wisdom, we introducing some food which are made in our laboratories, in our factories. And when we change the seed, we give them hybrid seeds. They cannot keep the seeds for the next year. Hybrids only grow for 1 year. So they are dependent on us. And when they control that seed, they know they are controlling all the farmers and the food or the people. So the economy comes to their hand by controlling a small seed, Aditya.
Yes. Yes.
So that is how we alter the whole farming system and make it dependent on us, not nature. So this is again human needs to greed transformation and Homo sapiens becoming animals of not thinking about also what we are going to do in the future, right? So
Yes.
they make it dependent. So the dependency syndrome. See, the input cost of the farmers will be very high. Seeds are costly, fertilizers are costly, pesticides are costly, irrigation systems are costly, tillage operation machines are costly, harvesting machines are costly. Everything is like costly, and then you again give loans to the farmers by putting another interest on them. Right? So everything makes farming into not profitable, and those crops don't grow properly. The local crops which are adapted to your nature grows in my forest, but if I try to grow a hybrid in my forest, I cannot grow that. This will not grow.
Yes.
I have to go with the god given food, and that is one of the reasons why farming is not a lucrative, because people are not making profit in them. People are dependent on it. It's
Yes.
not like making the farmers owners of their land, making using the farmers land by making them dependent on the corporates, right? So
Yes.
that is how uh, farming is not becoming lucrative. Young people like my green commandos, now my green commandos are changing the attitude, right? I see many green commandos who are working in the villages now. Other young people also wants to be a farmer because we are stylish farmers. Farming has to be stylish. We have to wear hats and jeans and do farming in a very good style. And when you are working with nature, so you are stylish, right? You don't have to. I respect the Indian farmers costume, but we have to change also so that we can attract more people, right? We can
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
We can do that
Yeah.
when we can do that when we make profit. And to make profit, we have to think about how we grow with nature, and we take nature as capital, not banks and the corporates as capital. And how we
Yes.
grow with nature and grow naturally, then farming
Yes.
will be lucrative. Introducing farming in the schools as a skill is very important, which I'm trying to do, to make them aware. Because most of the kids, like for example, if you ask your friends also, most of them will not know. Okay, Aditya, what is your favorite fruit?
Mango.
Mango. So when did you plant your last mango tree? Do you remember?
I do not actually I never planted mango tree only because
Yeah. What?
in my garden I cannot plant because my pot
Okay.
is not suitable for mango seed.
Okay. Aditya, what is your age now?
Age is 9. I'm in ninth class, so I'm like 13 years old.
Okay. See, Aditya, 13 years, right? 13 years. Many kids like you, crores of kids like you, have stopped growing their favorite fruit because of we made our homes into very cemented homes. We changed the whole world. We don't go to the park and plant a mango tree. We don't have that thing, right? So 13 years, 22 years, I find young people with 28 years not planting a tree which they like. So this is more dangerous than the danger of climate change, right? Which we talk about. So it's very important that we start growing own food, and we value the local food wherever it is possible, right? If we try to do that, I think the world will be very beautiful, right? So that is
Absolutely, sir.
and when you start growing your food, when you start planting it, you know how to dig the soil, how to put, then you value the farmer also. Okay, the person who sells me fruit, he brings it from the farmer who does so much of hard work in the sun. So we value this very noble profession of farming. So there are lots of reasons to that, but I was just giving you some ideas why farming is not lucrative among the young people. We have to do it, right? We have to grow our own food. We have to feel
Yes.
proud to be farmers. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Aditya.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. um we should actually people those people who actually do farming only, like I believe 99% of the people who do farming, like 99% in our country, do it because of poverty. They don't have any other option. They have land which their grandparents and other passed on to them, and then they just have no choice other than that to do to do farming. So it's a very big like problem, and farming is not like some, like in our household, if you see, there are people like, I want to become an engineer, I want to become a doctor, but there is no one who's saying I want to become a farmer, because farming is a job they display it in such a bad way. If your product is not nice, then how why will the customer come and take it? So farmer, they show farmer as such something which is related to poverty only, and people have many beliefs like that, and it is actually a very
See,
interesting job.
see, Aditya, I'm just telling you, it's not poverty, okay? They show it like that. You're right that they are projected like
Yes.
poverty. But if you go to the very ends, our ancestors were very, if you go to our ancestors or the roots, your
Yes.
father will be your father will be remembering about a very happy home with all the fields and food coming from own field, a very prestigious life of your grandfather or the earlier seniors in your the ancestors
Yes.
or our ancestors. They lived a life which was very contented, right? It's contented and happy. They were so happy. The angans of the village houses, the fields, the kids moving
Yes.
around in the farms.
In a
That is not
farmhouse.
that is not
Yeah.
poverty. That is actually life. The poverty term came when we started to make our needs into greeds. When we dreamt about cemented houses, when we dreamt about vehicles, when we dreamt about all the things
Yes.
which we have created artificially, then this profession came as it's like very bad, right? But now there is U-turn. Even this small virus is teaching us how to go back to the roots, right? So I think humanity will learn and understand that it's very important to live a life where you are happy. Happy or joyful is more important.
Yes. Farming is a very interesting subject. Actually, it is just that when you because see, I in my gaon, in my home place Shivpuri, we have our own farm, which we have. And then when we go there, it just feels like so interesting, and it is very interesting environment over there. So we try to understand it, and it's very fun. So it is not necessarily a bad job. And in the old times, people, actually the wealthy people, were the farmers only.
Mm.
The people who did jobs were peasants and all that. But the actual people who were they had like land, loads of land, and were very big farmers. So I believe farming is not a bad thing, it is a good thing, and we should understand it, and we should try to understand it and build upon it and contribute to the nature.
Yeah.
So, sir, that was very interesting. Thank you for